Hey, right. We're getting set up. We're getting set up. Doop 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 doop. So, what's going on? As some of you will who've been here before, we tend to wait. So again, like I did in the last video, I gave you guys a heads up. For those of you who aren't here live, we got to wait a couple of minutes, maybe 3 or 4 minutes, let the room kind of fill up, then we get into it all. What's up, Tyler Edmonson? How you doing, sir? Hope your week was fantastic. I feel like singing today. I don't know why. I guess because it's Flamingo Friday. Thanks to Tyler Edmonson for coining that phrase. You, sir, are a genius. We're gonna give it a couple of minutes, maybe 3 or 4 minutes. It's a very unorthodox, out of the ordinary midday live stream. Don't expect a lot of people to come through here live. So the reason why we're doing it early, I'm going to be driving, and I'm going to announce this. I've got an announcement later. You guys know I've talked a lot about going down to Ozark. That's today, Friday the 13th. Wish me luck from Fayetteville. Also, for all you that are driving up here from around the state up to Northwest Arkansas into Fayetteville for the game, please be careful. Remember, it's Friday the 13th. If you're the superstitious type, just a heads up. Stay away from any mirrors, black cats, any of that stuff. Just stay away. Maybe even I was going to say take an Uber. That'd be a pretty fat fee, wouldn't it? That'd be a fat check. So Tyler says, doing great. I don't work a double, so I'm off in 3 hours. Oh, very cool, Tyler. I'm glad you could come by. Brad Custern. What up, Hog fans? Brad, I don't know that I've ever seen you in here, but welcome, sir. I'll be driving up there from Beebe tomorrow morning. My wife has family in Beebe, Arkansas, actually. Besides the Catfish Hole, what are required restaurants, Tony? That's a really good question. So Sassy's. We've got Sassy's over there on 71. Of course, Herman's. You can't, that's a staple, right? That's a given. Whole Hog Cafe over in the Fiesta Square. I'd highly recommend them. Obviously, Slim's, but they've become so corporate now. It's not the same. Not knocking Slim's at all. Not knocking them. I still like their chicken. Their sauce is still made in-house, I believe. But it's not been the same the last few years. It's just, you can tell that, they're branching out and they're becoming more and more corporate. And that's okay. Look, I'm a big Chick-fil-A fan. Love Chick-fil-A. Chick-fil-A sauce. And I'm not kidding when I say this. We're at 3 minutes, 20 seconds, so we're about to get going here. But I'm not kidding when I say this. I used to work for marketing at Sam's Club, the large retail store, the sister company of Walmart. And I would stop by Chick-fil-A's like once or twice a week. And I had an employee there, the Chick-fil-A across from the mall. One of the employees there, and this was back before they started coming out to you with the menu, right? One of the employees there at the window said, what kind of sauce do you want? And at the time, I was new to Chick-fil-A sauce. You're talking 2009. You're talking a decade ago. I was new to the sauce. I said, well, let's try that Chick-fil-A sauce. Not kidding. Without missing a beat, the young woman said, I think it was a chick. I just remember them saying, oh, you mean the crack sauce? The crack sauce. And I was like, what? Okay. This is strange coming from a Chick-fil-A employee. Aren't you guys like in this kind of a religious, like, isn't that your founding? Nothing wrong with that, but that's interesting that you would say that. I thought it was hilarious. And in the first time I dipped my chicken nugget, that Chick-fil-A just phenomenally tasting nugget into that sauce and put it into my mouth. Oh my God. I knew exactly what she meant about the crack sauce. Chick-fil-A sauce is crack sauce. There is no other sauce that comes close. There's not. The Zaxby's sauce, God, that tastes like booty. All right, let me read the comment section here. will we be able to see or listen in on the show this afternoon? So you're talking about okay. So we're there. We're at 5 minutes. We'll go ahead and start off with the first thing that I wanted to talk about, and that is I've mentioned it several times in past videos. Channing Cottle sent a GIF for my Flamingo Friday post on the Hog Talk podcast saying "fabulous" with a pink flamingo. I love it. Tonight, September 13th, for those of you who are late catching this, 6:30 p.m., we're going to be in Ozark, Arkansas at the Ox Bend Brewing Company. We're going to be live. Myself, the whole Hog Talk podcast crew, myself, Jacob Scott Davis, and our producer, Peck. We're going to all be there. I'm really looking forward to it. You will be able to watch it live on Facebook. Now, I guess Periscope is still a thing on Twitter. I haven't really paid attention to Twitter. That makes sense because all the radio shows are starting to stream everything on Twitter. So yeah, that makes sense. So I guess we're going to be available on Periscope or on Twitter live and on Facebook Live tonight, 6:30 p.m. Don't miss it. It's going to be fun. We were supposed to go in. This is the crazy part. We were supposed to go a couple of weeks ago to set up to kind of get an idea of what we're in for. Unfortunately, Jacob got sick. He got food poisoning from, I don't want to mention the local business in Northwest Arkansas, but he claims he got food poisoning from this restaurant, and we had to scrap the whole thing. So we're going to try and get down there early today and get things set up. We've never done this. I've never done a live setting like that before, so it's going to be interesting to see how that pans out. Yeah. BB Smith, what's up, man? How's it going? Dwight Riley, how you doing, sir? What's up, Ty? I'm on my lunch break. Cool. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day. I really do appreciate it. Again, the reason why I'm doing this, because I'm going to be driving down to Ozark this afternoon and this evening. We got our live show, so I'm unable to go live, and I know you guys really enjoy this stuff. I do too. I plan on doing a post-game reaction live stream as well tomorrow. So if you miss this and you're watching this later on, we will be live tomorrow, so we get an opportunity to catch it then. I'm going to the Colorado State game tomorrow. 31-28, says Greg. That seems to be the most common prediction, is something like 34-32, 33-30. Those kind of scores in the high 20s, low 30s. Jeremiah Granite says Flamingo Friday in the house. That's what's up. Glad to see you brushed your hair today. I got a haircut since we last talked, I think, Jeremiah. But I'm going to have to go back and have it. See what happens there? I always have a cowlick no matter what I do. So I just kind of give up. Here's what I do. If I'm like, forget it, I'm not going to deal with it. This is what I do. Watch this. Oh, and it eliminates the cowlick. And I do this anyways because I go back and I often have my kids and they're loud. I'm trying to edit, so I need my headphones on anyways, and I keep them on when I record. But it helps with the cowlick. I've always had that issue since I was a kid. I was that kid with the picture in the class photo with the cowlick in the back. That was me. Got to wet it down. Is what it is. What time is the game tomorrow? 3 p.m. tomorrow. Made me choose between you and Colin Cowherd. Wasn't a hard choice. Thank you. Wow, Colin Cowherd. I'm not gonna lie. I really like Colin Cowherd. I'm not gonna lie about it. So, waking up at 4 a.m. to watch the game. You must be overseas. TTV, yo boy Judd. Paul Sparks, game at 3. Games at 3. Game at 3. Be there. We need the noise. 35-21. Arkansas says Bullets. Okay. Bullets says 35-21. Flamingo Friday, guys. We have coined that term. We need to just make our own hashtag. That's what we need to do. Let's jump into this Colorado State matchup. Colorado State, offensively, they look better than what they did a year ago, not going to lie. Defensively, they've got some – I think they actually have some playmakers or legitimate players on defense that could maybe play in a Power 5 program. I'll say that. I'm not going to tell you they're playmakers. In this game, they very well could be because of how discombobulated the Arkansas offense has been. Well, maybe not discombobulated, but just unprepared, right? I'm not going to lie to you. This was a hard one for me. Ole Miss was hard, especially after the Portland State game. You had a horrible performance in that game against Portland State, all things considered, against an FCS school, right? we've beat you over the head with that, myself and the Hog Talk podcast and here on the Pig Trail Network. And then going into that Ole Miss game, after the Portland State game, I said this is going to be a loss. Arkansas is going to lose to Ole Miss. And then watching how they performed in the first half against Ole Miss, my first thought, I was texting some buddies of mine. I said, they may lose to Colorado State. They look so bad. They may lose to Colorado State again this year. And the question, I can't remember if I left this in yesterday's video or not, but I had said, is this going to be the game that sets the pace for the rest of the year? I don't know if I included that or not. I can't remember. Long video, too. It's pretty rare you get a video from me that's over like 7 minutes. And I did not go back and watch it. I just edited it as I went and just threw it up because I was in such a hurry. I'm sorry if it's crap. I'm sorry. But, yeah, this game could really set the pace for the rest of the year, because if you lose this, you wonder then they should, even if a loss to Colorado State, depending on how bad it is, if it's a shellacking, if Colorado State comes in here, and I don't see that happening, but if they come in here and Arkansas looks worse somehow with Nick Starkel as your starting quarterback, then you wonder, wait a minute, are they even going to beat San Jose State? Are we looking at a 1-11 year? I don't think that's what happens. So my official, I'm not going to give a score prediction. I'm not doing that. I'm done with that. I'm it's so hard and almost just it's you don't know what you're getting with this team. We know that offensively the production has not been there. Craddock and Morris are not on the same page. I don't know what to expect against Colorado State. I do think Arkansas works hard enough to almost lose this one, but find a way to get some payback. And I think they end up winning this one, but it could be close. I like those 34-31 predictions. It could very well be in that neighborhood. We don't, Colorado State. Let me look at their who was it? They barely. I say barely. They lost to Colorado. Of course, I don't have their schedule up, but they lost to Colorado. I think it was like 52-31 or 52-33, something like that. They were able to put points up on a Power 5 school. There's going to be a pretty good test here for the secondary. Jacob and I disagree on this. I'm not sold on this Arkansas secondary. Outside of Curl, guys, I just don't know what to expect. I really don't. Curl is like the anomaly for that secondary, in my opinion. Foucher's just young. He's a sophomore. I think he will develop into a pretty solid safety. But if you go back and watch that Ole Miss game, when they wanted to, when Arkansas was not able to get pressure on Corral, however you pronounce his name, sound like The Walking Dead. Coral, you don't know Coral. But when they weren't getting consistent pressure on him, he was able to carve up the secondary a little bit, especially on slant routes and things like that. So that worries me. Their quarterback, Hill, I mean, this guy right now, I'm not going to lie to you. Colin Hill, pretty good. He's like 6'5", 220 pounds. We talked about this yesterday. 55 of 78, 738 yards through 2 games. I don't care that they played an FCS school. They did play a Power 5. The question is, what do you think of Colorado compared to Ole Miss? And is there is there an in-between there when you compare the two teams? Is Ole Miss better or worse than Colorado? And what do you make of that? Maybe their defense is better. Maybe Arkansas will have some success against Colorado State, against their defense. So 70% Colin Hill, 7 touchdowns, 2 picks. He has a 77-yard touchdown on the year. He's been sacked only twice. Combined between him and Patrick O'Brien, their backup, they've been sacked 3 times all year in 2 games. I think Arkansas is at 4, if I remember right. Their run game, through 2 games, they don't really seem like they run a whole lot. They've only got 67 attempts. That's probably about average across the college football landscape. But 320 yards throughout the year, 4.8 yards a carry, only 2 rushing touchdowns. And that actually came from a wide receiver, Dante Wright. But I think Marvin Kinsey is still their guy. He's got 25 carries on the year, 130 yards. He's averaging right north of 5 yards a carry. His longest run of the year, 24 yards. They have Warren Jackson, this guy through 2 games, 15 catches, 142 yards with a touchdown. And then they have a couple of other receivers tied at 2 touchdowns. Dante Wright and Marvin Kinsey, the running back. Their check down target, their tight end. That's always something you want to keep an eye on. Tight ends have become such a bigger part of the game today, but not really anything there significant. 7 catches, 75 yards, but I guess through 2 games, it's kind of hard to judge. But defensively, they haven't been so great. They give up right around, I think last I saw it was like 340 a game yards, and I think they're just north of about 30 points a game given up as far as scoring. So, wow, my AC kicked on. That was loud. Did you guys hear that? It was like, bro. I'm not used to being in here with my door open. That's the reason why that shook me off guard. This is going to be a tough one. It's not a given. It's not, and maybe I'm wrong. And Arkansas goes in there Saturday, and proves a lot of people wrong. They just blow Colorado State out the stadium, right? Like they get true revenge. I have a really hard time seeing that given the past 2 games, and that includes the half with Nick Starkel. There's some truth in that though, because we don't know when you talk about. This is typically what I get, the pushback I get on that when I say that I don't, when I tell people I'm not sure what they do against Colorado State, people tell me, well, but wait, we haven't seen Starkel start. We haven't seen him play a full game. So anything could happen, and there's absolutely some truth to that. And when you go back and watch that second half, he rips Ole Miss up. 200 yards in 2 quarters. Had a touchdown called back, and then he had another touchdown to Collian Jackson. I believe that's his first career touchdown as a Razorback. I almost said Ty Story. Nick Starkel's as well. Or am I crazy? Yeah, no, that was both of their first career touchdowns as Razorbacks. How about that? So with that being said, you don't really know. I guess we don't really know what we're in for with this Colorado State game. That's why I'm not going to pick. I guess the rest of the year, I'll just give you a W or an L. I'm not going to give you a score because I just really don't know what to expect from this offense. Maybe as the year goes on and we kind of see this thing unfold a little bit more, maybe the offense improves and you start to feel a little bit more confident in picking a score. I don't know. Let's read your chat. Let's read comments. Wow, you guys. Whoop, whoop. Let's see. Trying to get caught up. I tried to highlight where I left off. Okay. So Tony Healy had asked about restaurants in Fayetteville or in Northwest Arkansas. If you guys, I said, you've got Sassy's, of course. I think you already mentioned Catfish Hole, Slim's, Flying Burrito. Their steak nachos. Are supreme. I'm telling you, don't go there for anything else but their steak or chicken nachos. I've not actually had their chicken, but their steak nachos phenomenal. I mean, and it's like that thing weighs 2 pounds. It's expensive, not gonna lie. You better bring your wallet. If you got a family with you, maybe not. Well, just be prepared to spend quite a bit of money. But their steak nachos, holy mother of God above, it's so good. Their steak nachos, there's no better place. For years, I've been trying to compare nachos to different restaurants. Nobody comes close to Flying Burrito. That was their thing. That was their gimmick on the radio back in the day. Flying Burrito. Now it's stuck in your head. I highly recommend them. Obviously, Slim's. I'm trying to think of some other local places. Herman's. I don't know. You guys helped Tony out. I think I threw out the supreme places, right? Tacos for Life down there in across from the VA hospital over off 71 Business. That's a good place as well. Let's see. Scrolling down. Hogs 48-13 says West Florida Panhandle. Robert Ainsworth, how you doing, sir? Welcome. How's it going? Hope all's well. Brad says their D has 6 returning starters. Yeah, they have 6 returning starters on defense. They have a couple of defensive linemen they have one guy that's got like 3.5, 4 sacks through 2 games. I do think that's going to be something too that this offensive line had better be prepared for. Colorado State has shown out in these 2 games as far as getting some pressure on an opposing quarterback. Now, they're not a great defense. Arkansas should. Oh man, am I crossing a threshold with this? They should be able to move the ball in Colorado State. I laugh saying that because you have no idea. Starkel's your guy. Starkel, who's throwing 70%. Starkel, who ripped up Ole Miss in the second half. We saw a little bit of him against Portland State, was able to move the ball, but then he turned it over. But saying that, with Starkel at the helm, if someone else steps up on this offense, They should be able to move the ball and score. The question is going to be, can they finish drives? And can they not trip over their own shoelaces? Trip over their own feet? I don't know. Oh, I just dropped a tack. Better not step on that because I'm barefoot at the moment. It's sad when you don't even know if you can move the ball on a non-Power 5 defense. It'd be one thing if you were talking about like Notre Dame, right? But I mean, I get it. Notre Dame might as well be a Power 5 school, but you're not. You're talking about Colorado State. Like you're questioning as to whether or not you can actually move the ball on them, and it's interesting that we're in this. Well, they should be able to score 30, right? 33, 34 points. When you feel like after 14 games of the Chad Morris era, you'd feel a little bit more confident in that score. Not that that's a horrendous score, but we know that offensively, we just haven't seen what we want to see. We've not really seen we've just not seen that step yet from the offense. I don't know. Luke Bells, or is that Bayless? I'm worried about our secondary for tomorrow. I am too, because they're going to get shredded if they're not paying attention. If McClellan gets burned off the line, if safeties are out of place. And I don't know why they play so much zone. Maybe because they really have a fear of getting beat deep. I don't know. Colorado State, there's going to be an opportunity there for them to shred up this Arkansas secondary. So, I don't know. Robert Ainsworth, I'm scared. Or is it scared? I'm scared. TTV, yo boy, says Arkansas 35. I think I already read your score. Maybe I didn't. 35-28 Arkansas. Tyler Edmondson. So I'll actually be at the movies tonight. We'll be able to go back and watch tonight's show. I think so. I believe so. I've never used Facebook Live, so I don't know how that works. I'm pretty sure the show stays up. So yeah, you'll be able to go back and check it out. What movie are you gonna go watch, Tyler? Did Joker, is that out yet? Have you guys seen the reviews for that? Like IGN gave it a 10. A 10. I really want to see that. Apparently it's pretty dark. Let's see. Jeremiah, does Colorado State still have that snaggletooth quarterback? tore our brownie up last year. Listen, Hill is they're very likely to do that again. 22 minutes so far. We're gonna probably end this thing at 30. I'm gonna go grab some lunch. I'm really wanting to try that Popeye's chicken sandwich. Everybody's comparing to Chick-fil-A's. Let's see. Scrolling down here. If you guys have any questions, feel free to ask as I'm reading these comments. God, this is sad right now. Yeah, it is. I couldn't agree more, Jay. Austin Shyrock, think Arkansas gets in a rhythm offensively, opening the running game, gaining some balance, and reliving the defense. Quarterback play is huge. 35-21 Arkansas. Yeah, and I think that's something we all kind of we're so hung up on Nick Starkel, right? Like we want him to be successful. We want him to go out there and throw for 350, 3 or 4 passing touchdowns, minimal mistakes. We want that, and that would be great. But I think the key to success, I got to agree with our man Austin here. I think you got to get that run game going. But it's going to be pivotal that someone like Nick Starkel, who could stretch a defense out a little bit and go vertical, they're going to have an opportunity to have success on the ground. And I couldn't agree more. Austin, 55-32 says Bullets. Let's see. I'm going to have to skip over. I'm sorry. Raising Cane's. Is that not that's a national chain though, isn't it, Tyler? I thought they were or is that that's like they're out of Texas or something, right? Go to Slim's. Slim's is so much better than Raising Cane's. I don't care. Don't at me. They're so much better. Colorado State game, we need that win badly. Lose to them means no SEC wins. I can't see it. It says Frederick Clemens, Grant Patrick. I wish we could just throw it up to Trey Knox when we get in the red zone. He's like he's a 6'5". Give him a chance to go get it. Got a lot of tall options. TQ Jackson, Burks, Knox. You know, the crazy thing is, even though he won't play, I guess they're going to redshirt him. Shamar Nash, he's their shortest of the bunch. He's 6'2". Uh, Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Jeremiah says, I don't know what that is. Ruth Chris Steakhouse. Never heard of it. Azazian of absurdity on absurdity. Starkel's quick flip arm makes the job of the O-line a little bit easier. Couldn't agree more. He does have a pretty nice release. It's pretty fast. That was something that a lot of people haven't talked a lot about. His ability to get the snap and to just let the ball go. And he'll read through his progressions too. But the thing is, at the end of the day, he's a gunslinger. There's no doubt about it. Nick Starkel is a gunslinger, point blank. I'm going to say this. I'm going to make a prediction. I think he throws a pick tomorrow. Hopefully just one. I think we see him get confident for good reason. Maybe he gets in rhythm, and then he throws a pick. He reminds me so much of Ryan Mallett. Watching his A&M stuff, I don't know if he's the talent of Ryan Mallett. Ryan Mallett had an arm. The only person that got in the way of Ryan Mallett in the NFL is Ryan Mallett. Listening to podcasts and interviews on Mallett, people who watched him play, even when he was at Baltimore with Houston, kid had an arm, could read defenses, was actually pretty smart for a quarterback. I'm not going to say he's like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady level intelligent, but he was pretty smart. I don't know that he'd be a consistent starter in the league, but that's somebody who should be on a roster at the very least. Brandon Allen's made multiple 53-man rosters. I think we can all argue Ryan Mallett's probably a better, more talented quarterback than BA. Nothing against my fellow Purple Dog, but Mallett was a next-level talent, five-star athlete or five-star quarterback out of high school. Tons of offers. We know he went to Michigan, ended up transferring to Arkansas after Petrino. Immensely talented. But the only guy that got in his way in the NFL is Ryan Mallett. There's no reason why that guy shouldn't be a backup at least on a 53-man roster somewhere. Can't get he gets arrested. I mean, how many times has he been arrested? This is his second time since leaving the U of A? Or no, he was arrested while at the U of A, right? I can't remember that far back. The Popeye sandwich is pretty good, says Tyler. It's got some crunch and it's juicy, but the spice is not there since they use a sauce versus the breading that CFA uses. Huge CFA fan, by the way. Chick-fil-A is where it's at, man. I'm telling you that everything they do is great. Too bad Mallett with the DWI. Yeah, I don't know how many times that guy's been arrested. I don't know how many times he's been in trouble. I don't think it's a lot. I don't think he has a lot of arrests on his record, but we know he had a reputation. He had a reputation on campus. His whole Scantron. That guy's a character. And wasn't he not just at the Little Rock Touchdown Club not that long ago? And here he is getting arrested. There's a video out supposedly. I haven't seen it of his arrest. I haven't seen it. I've heard it's something to watch. I'm gonna have to catch it if I get time today. Yeah. Tony says he was really good at the Touchdown Club a few weeks ago. Tony, were you there? Logan says Zaxby's all the way. This is where we're at. I guess we're done talking about Colorado State. I do like Arkansas to win this one. It's gonna be close. I don't know if it's gonna be one of those games where Arkansas shows up defensively and the offense still struggles, even with Starkel at quarterback. So this is why I'm not giving a prediction. I'm just not. Until we see them get in SEC play, I'm just not going to make any predictions. If you guys are driving to Fayetteville, if you're driving up here, please be safe, okay? If you're in Fayetteville and you decide to hit up Dixon Street, like I always say, please take an Uber or a Lyft, get a DD. Be careful up here. This is a college town. A lot of stupid kids behind the wheel between the high school kids and the college kids in Fayetteville. So you have 80,000 people combined with Razorback fans in town for a game. Just be careful, okay? I'll be going in the opposite direction on 49. I'll be going the opposite direction down to Ozark today. So I'll be home later tonight. Again, tomorrow after the game, we're going to try and do a live stream, post-game reaction. Hopefully it's not full of rage like the last one was. My God, you guys were on fire last week in the comments section. It was incredible. If you guys have any questions, ask now, forever hold your peace, or until tomorrow. Big man Ross, what's up, man? How you doing? Grant Patrick, favorite commit from the 2020 class so far? Ooh, that's a good one. I'm not gonna lie to you. Tykees Crawford, Chandler Morris. I'm telling you guys, I'm not saying he's gonna come in here next year and play, but what he's doing at a very high level in the state of Texas is pretty impressive. We've I've been impressed since he, even before he committed. I always thought, well, he's a 3-star maybe because of his size, but then you watch him play, has nothing to do with it. It comes to me, it's you've got Darren Turner, who's rated pretty high on 24/7 Sports. I know he's a 4-star over there. You've got Martavius French. Hopefully they get his teammate up here as well, get him to commit. Bryson Eason, which last I heard, I feel pretty confident, but everything's kind of gone quiet in that camp. And Chandler Morris has been just a baller. I don't care that he's 5'10", 5'11", 170 pounds. If the guy can play football, the guy can play football. You don't see a lot of guys sub 6 foot come into the SEC and do a whole lot. Just going to say that. It's not very common. But that also, size isn't everything, but don't get me wrong. There's a reason why the NFL rolls the dice on those quarterbacks that are at least north of like 6'1". There's kind of a reason for that. It's more than just mechanics. But I do think Chandler Morris is pretty impressive, and he is a dual threat. He is someone who you feel like knows this offense that his dad runs up here. But I'd have to argue it's between Tykees Crawford and Martavius French and Chandler Morris. I kind of think Kelvonte Dixon's a little overlooked. I think he deserves some more attention. John Gentry has been making Rivals actually posted a video, the actual Rivals, not Nikki Chavanel, but like the main Rivals page has been posting. I think they posted a video of him burning a defense down there in Houston, North Shore. He's probably, who knows? I could see him getting a 4th star. I mean, he's catching a lot of praise lately. I'm not really sure what's going on with his recruiting as of late. I don't know if he's picked up any more offers, but there's some sleepers in this class too. Alan Horst, the 6'5", 255-pound tight end. There's some sleepers. Let's see. It's going down the chat here. I'm buying one of those pink Flamingo shirts. Yeah, they're at Walmart. Not kidding you. I asked my wife, I was like, where'd we get this at? She said Walmart. I was like, oh, really? Okay, well, it's comfortable. I don't care. And then my neighbor, Alex, his son plays football here in Springdale, and he posted a picture of him wearing a cast, and he's wearing the same shirt. And I was like, twinsies. So, yeah, it's just go to Walmart. It's probably like $5, but I love it. It's comfortable. I can move around in it. I can breathe in it, and it's not too bad on the eyeballs. I got to say, Flamingo Friday has been a success. I don't know about you guys. Let's see. Yeah, Darren Turner. Darren Turner is something else. I don't know what they're going to do with him when he gets here. It could end up playing secondary. Could end up being a DB. John Stephen Jones ever start? No. I'm still sticking with no. Will he play? Yes. I still think there's an opportunity there for them to play these guys. It's either going to come against San Jose State or Western Kentucky. Those are 2 programs. If Arkansas loses to either one of those or both, guys, the Chad Morris experiment may be over pretty soon if you lose to both of those teams. But I expect us to eventually see all the quarterbacks play. Whether I'm not going to, I don't think it's this weekend. I think this weekend's going to be a close game, but then San Jose State, there's a possibility. And then Western Kentucky, there's a possibility. If Starkle does well this season, will we see a 2-quarterback system again next year? No. Nope. I mean, that's hard to answer because who knows? Maybe KJ comes along from year 1 to year 2. That's typically the biggest leap, especially for quarterbacks from year 1 to year 2. If Starkle is the guy and he has a good year, if like you said, Bulls, if he has a good year, I don't see any reason why, unless it's to just get, unless they're blowing somebody out, they put someone in. No, I don't think you'll have a 2-quarterback system, and I don't think you're going to see it again the rest of this year. I don't think. Could be wrong. Starkle is known. He's a little prone to throwing interceptions. There's no doubt about that. Again, I've said it a million times. He's a gunslinger. Okay, I'm not comparing him to Brett Favre, but you remember Brett Favre. He is the prototypical gunslinger of the NFL. He just lived and died with his arm. That's how he played football, and that's how Starkle plays. That mindset, the confidence. Ryan Mallett is a good comparison in terms of the confidence that Starkle has in his arm, and you've got to be okay with that because he's going to stretch the field out. He's going to throw picks this year, guys. It's going to happen. Now, there's also the other side of this where you're a little bit concerned about the knowledge of the offense and how much of the playbook we're going to actually see with Starkel. But if they feel more confident in opening the playbook up with him and having more of the offense installed as they go throughout the year, God, this feels like last year all over again. But if you feel like if that's the case, he's going to throw picks. I'm just going to end it there. He's going to throw picks, but I think it's risk, high reward. That's what you get, Starkel. So you wonder how tight that leash is that Chad Morris and Craddock had. Well, at the end of the day, it's Chad Morris. How tight the leash is with Starkel, or how loose it is. And I feel like, and I said this in my video yesterday, I really feel like if he makes mistakes, if he turns the ball over a couple of times, we'll see him march Hicks back out there. If he struggles even just a little bit and then throws a pick on the end of a drive, it would not surprise me to see them put Hicks in. And I think depending on the set of circumstances given at the time, I think that's a mistake. You need to keep with your starter. There's going to be bumps along the road. The problem with Hicks was it the mistakes? It was the lack of zoom the offense had when he was there was no, they were never in sync with him at quarterback. They couldn't move the ball against Portland State. Starkel, it's the complete opposite. First half Ole Miss, second half Ole Miss, two completely different games. So I think you need to ride it out. Now, again, I'm not going to blame him if it's the Kurt Warner effect. As you can see, I'm a big Ram fan. I became a Ram fan in '94 when they moved from L.A. to St. Louis, and I'm still a Ram fan even though they moved from St. Louis back to L.A. Towards the end of Kurt Warner's career at St. Louis, he turned the ball over like 7 times in 2 games, and they benched him for Mark Bulger. Mark Bulger was big time, but a little bit different. I know you're comparing apples and oranges here, but if that happens, if he makes a ton of mistakes in a game, then you understand. But if he struggles a little bit and then maybe turns the ball over, what does the staff do? Do they stick it out with him or do they bench him? And the way this staff is with quarterbacks, I could completely see them benching him. And in all honesty, this is the question. I was going to make this a poll question on the Hawk Talk podcast. If Nick Starkel gets pulled, who would you rather see come in after him? Ben Hicks? Now, I know the answer is going to be from the coaching staff. It would be Ben Hicks. But would you rather see Ben Hicks, KJ Jefferson, JSJ? Who would you rather see? That's the question that I want to ask. We may put that out as a poll today. I don't know. The only reason why I have it is because I know instantly people are going to come at it. It's like, oh, you've already lost faith in Nick Starkel. No, I'm thinking ahead if something were to happen. Or maybe we could ask on a poll, how tight is the leash or how loose is the leash that Chad Morris has with Starkel? I'm not really sure. And you guys all say KJ. Look at that. Big Man says John Stephen Jones, but Brad says KJ. Keyboard Smash. I'm just going to call him that. WSDBLD says John Stephen Jones. I don't know who KM is. I'm assuming you meant KJ. Robert says KJ. Okay, TTV corrected himself. Okay, KJ, screw it, just throw him into the fire, and that's the question. Because at this point, I have no faith in what we've seen, what little we've seen of Hicks. I don't know if you want to give someone who provides no spark to the offense another shot. I don't think you guys do either, and I get it too. John Stephen has kind of hyped some people up when he was getting bragged on by the staff. KJ was a 4-star dual threat. You imagine he's a perfect fit. I don't know how I would answer that, honestly. I think I would probably have to argue John Stephen because he was here a year ago. KJ's a freshman. I don't know how I feel about throwing a true freshman into the fire like that, but it also, I guess, depends on the set of circumstances. Have you lost to Colorado State and maybe you're struggling against San Jose State and you're just forget it. You're just kind of throwing in everything but the kitchen sink to figure out what's going on. I don't know. Big Man Ross says anyone but Hicks. Yeah, I agree. I have no confidence in what I've seen of him. Even if it's 6 quarters worth, that's plenty of time, in my opinion, to get an idea of what to expect out of that quarterback. That's plenty of time, especially when you consider it was an FCS school for 4 quarters and for 2 quarters an Ole Miss football team that's predicted to go like 5-7. I'm Kermit with the T. The meme. You guys have seen that. We're gonna close this thing up. We're coming up on 40 minutes, and I gotta go eat lunch and get prepared to go down to Ozark. Let's see. I'm gonna continue reading your comments here. Asa Valentine. Nick has still another year. He needs to stay in, stick it out. I agree. Stick it out. He shows he can make throws and lead the offense. Stay with Starkel no matter what. I have to agree. Again, unless you have the Kurt Warner scenario where he throws like 7 picks or 5 picks in a game or turns the ball over 5 times in a game, then you kind of understand you've got to make a change. Because if you don't, the media is going to eat you up. The fans are going to eat you up. You'd have to make a change at that point. And the fans' mindset right now is all about Nick Starkel, as it should be, because Starkel's been very impressive. But the minute he screws up and does it again and does it again and does it again, then everyone starts to complain and go crazy and put in somebody else. And I don't know that it's always right to listen to what fans say on social media either. I'm not saying that, but I think eventually you would probably have to make a change. And my question is, who would that be? Who would you rather see? But I'm right there with you. Nick Starkel's got to be the guy. During fall camp, weren't there rumors that John Stephen-Jones was the most consistent? But his size was the issue. I don't know that his size has ever been the issue, because they recruited him, they scouted him, and they're in the process of developing him. I don't know that if size is – I don't think size has anything to do it with Chad. I mean, obviously, Chandler Morris, his son, is very similar in size. He was consistent from what I was told. We got to remember the media had very limited access. I think it was something like 20 minutes is all they were given. That's ridiculous. I'm just going to continue to say that. That is the – give access to the media. Good grief. They're there for the people. They're there for the Hog fans. There's no how well has it worked for them through 14 games? I mean, really, let's be honest. Open the thing up. But I had heard that actually Hicks was the most consistent at getting them into scoring position and leading them down the field. And we mentioned this yesterday, that maybe Ben Hicks is an excellent practice quarterback and Starkel isn't. You remember Matt Jones? I can remember the media, they would change their prediction before and after fall camp because of how poor Matt Jones looked as someone who, as a guy that practiced, right? As a practice quarterback, he was not good in practice. He didn't want to be there. Do you ever see his demeanor when, even after the team scored, do you ever watch Matt Jones? He would go to the bench, he'd just cross his arms and like lean back. That was Matt Jones. He's still my favorite Hog of all time. I'm just gonna say it. I've never seen anybody like that. 6'6", 230 pounds, ran a laser 4.38. Didn't matter what angle the defense took at him, he still would burn them. And then you've got the infamous horns down. I think that was an accident, but still, as he's scoring into the end zone, Matt Jones is still my all-time favorite Hog. And Darren McFadden is a close second. Peyton Hillis, Felix Jones, Marcus Monk, all things considered. Greg Childs, good Lord. Greg Childs was a monster before he got hurt. Jay Massey, we've got our first filtered comment of the day, or held for review comment. Jay Massey says, just in the quarterback carousel, put in Casey Dick at this point. That's why it was flagged, because you said Casey Dick. How dare you? Just let them develop rhythm. Yeah, and you've got to. You're going to have to live through this the bad points of Starkel when he does start to turn the ball over. Okay, we're going to try and end this thing here in a minute. I like interacting with you guys, though. I like reading your comments. Let's see. Big man Ross Matt was great. I've never seen anybody play like him in person. I'm telling you, it's one thing to go watch War Machine's videos, to watch any highlight video on YouTube, and to actually see that happen. I've never seen anything like that. I can still remember, I think it was Mississippi State. I think it was Mississippi State the first time I watched him in person. No, it had to be earlier than that. But my mind was blown. He didn't look like he was going as fast as he was. It looked like he was just kind of and then you've got corners that have a good angle on him, safeties, outside linebackers. Nobody could catch the guy. And you're like, what? Do all these guys run like 4.8s? Maybe the SEC doesn't have speed on defense. And then you come to find out when Matt goes to the NFL Combine, gets drafted in the first round because he's 6. I think he was listed at 6'5", 235, if I remember right. 6'5", 6'6", and he drops a 4.38 laser. I go watch the video. It's incredible. He doesn't look like he's moving that fast. He was so good. I wonder what he could do in this offense. But I think you need to throw the ball. His throwing mechanics are terrible. The guy could not. There's a reason why he went to the NFL as a wideout. I hope you have an amazing weekend. Stay blessed. Thank you so much, BB. I really do appreciate you guys stopping by. Enough about me reminiscing about Matt Jones. Between him and Darren McFadden, those are two players you had to have watched live. TV never does those guys justice. YouTube does not do those guys justice. If you're able to watch those guys play, it was incredible. Madre Hill, too. Of course, I was a little kid when Madre Hill, but he was pretty phenomenal to watch. On defense, I always like to keep an eye on Quentin Caver. He was really good, of course. Jamal Anderson, still a wonder to me how he just kind of fizzled out in the NFL. What's for lunch, Ty? Says Tyler. I think I'm gonna. I don't know. I'm not really sure yet. Okay, a couple more comments and we're gonna end it. That's gonna be it. We went on for 45 minutes, and I want to say thank you guys so much again for taking time out of your day. I will be live again this evening in Ozark. Let me pull that all up here. 6:30 at the Ox Bend Brewing Company. That's where we're going to be at tonight. Myself, Jacob Scott Davis, and our producer, Peck. The Hog Talk podcast live, 6:30. Can't wait. Going to be exciting. We've also got stickers. Yay! Really excited about the stickers. And we've got our own table mat made out and everything. It's a logo that I designed for Jacob. Jacob took it to, I guess, I don't know where he took it to have it made, but it turned out really good. I was really impressed. Jacob has done a great job. Works really hard. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Jacob and Peck bust their asses to help make the Hog Talk podcast what it is. And I'm proud to be a part of it. It's really cool. If you want to check out a podcast, the link is down below. We didn't have one today. Typically, we're 2 days a week, Monday and Friday. But because we're going to be on Facebook Live tonight, we decided not to do a second podcast this week. But next week, we'll be back at it full steam. We've had, again, if you guys are new here and you're not sure what it is, what the Hog Talk podcast is, we've had on Chuck Barrett, the voice of the Razorbacks, Phil Elson, Chandler Morse, 4-star prospect, commitment to the Razorbacks, obviously Chad's son, Otis Kirk, trying to think who else, Ben Cleveland from the Springdale 5, some really awesome conversations. Greg Curl, Cam Curl's dad, we had him on. We know he's a pretty prominent figure on social media, on Twitter. We really wanted to have a conversation with him, and it's a good one. We talk about how he handles people trash talking him and bringing his family into it. Really, really awesome interview. He's a good guy, too. Greg's a good guy. His whole family, Curl, that whole family are good people. So feel free to go check that out. Link provided for you, among others, in the description box. So that's it. I'm sorry I couldn't read all your comments. Yeah, Alex Collins was good. I agree. God, Alex Collins was good. Shifty. God, he could read. I mean, his vision was incredible. He could read a defense as soon as he got the ball, and he could just shift around, and he could turn the Jets on. Wasn't super fast, but good Lord. His agility on Madden and his juke should have been really, really high. Yeah, Alex Collins is something else. That's another quarterback that's kind of throwing things away, and that's sad. D-Mac's 326-yard game was the greatest game anyone will ever see in person, much less at all. You know what's funny? I had tickets to go to that game, and I gave them up so our boss at the time could go, and I had something else kind of come up. I didn't have to go do this other thing. I didn't go to the game. To this day, I'm like, no! All right, that's going to do it. Thank you, guys. Again, remember to like, comment, share the content, and check out the links, and I will see you guys tonight for those of you who are able to make it on Facebook, 6:30 p.m. If not, I'll see you guys tomorrow after the football game. We'll go live and talk about the post game, how things went against Colorado State. All right, you guys be good. Have a good Friday, and be safe. Be careful. Woo pig.